So hello everyone. So in this section we are going to discuss about markup languages, a language that a browser can understand. Okay, so markup languages is nothing but a set of directions to speak to a browser. Okay, so in its language, so it tells the browser how to display a web document, how to manage a web document. Okay, so actually this one the markup language concept, as we have discussed in the previous section, this concept was developed by Tim Berners-Lee. Okay, so Tim Berners-Lee developed a standard generalized markup language, a kind of set of rules, SGML. So it's not actually a language, but it is a language. It's a kind of set of rule to develop markup languages. Okay, so all the markup languages, if the term markup language refers to a language which a browser can understand. So Tim Berners-Lee developed a standard for specifying a markup language. Okay, a description how to specify a markup language is there in SGML, which is developed by Tim Berners-Lee. Okay, and also Tim Berners-Lee developed the actual language, the HTML, that is also was developed by Tim Berners-Lee. So he developed a set of rules to develop a markup language, that is SGML, and also HTML, that is actual language which was developed initially by following the rule that is specified in SGML. Okay, so there are different markup languages. Like first language was HTML, but there are different markup languages was developed after that, like KML, MathML, HTML is a rule, but XHTML, XML, all these languages are different type of languages. Let's see some important languages one by one, important milestones in markup languages. The first one was, as we know, HTML is the first markup language. It is actually set of symbols and code. Okay, so that is called markup code. So markup code is like a set of symbols that a browser can understand, and it can interpret that code into a meaningful, human understandable document. Okay, so that will be rendered. Okay, so it will interrupt the markup code and renders it as a document which we can understand. Structural elements. So the code which is specified, so the markup code is kind of symbols, right? So each symbol specify or identify a structural element. Structural elements are the components of a web document, like a paragraph, heading, list, images, videos, audios, all those are called structural elements. That is the element of a web document, what actually we refer in website, right? So there are different components that we are going to learn one by one in this course. Okay, so those are called structural element. Each markup code corresponds to a particular structural element, which is called tag. Okay, so each tag refers a particular code which refers to a particular structuring element. Okay, so to make it easier, I'll describe. So for example, let's say a paragraph. You have a paragraph in your document. Okay, so this paragraph is referred by a tag called p tag. Okay, so you will refer all your content, actual content inside this tag. So this is called tag. Okay, so this is called structuring element. So we have a structuring element. Okay, so to specify that structuring element, we have to use tag, and here we have to specify the content. Okay, so do you get it? So the tags are the codes. Okay, markup codes, and the structuring elements are the actual real world components like paragraph, heading, images, audios, videos. Okay, these are called structural elements. So each structural element is associated with the tag. Okay, so P is the tag for the paragraph. Similarly, for heading, this is the tag for heading. Okay, we are going to learn different kind of these tags. That is called HTML. So the learning these tags are the main component of the HTML. Okay, so that is all about tags, everything. And then attribute. You have to learn one more thing about attribute. The attribute is kind of describe the tag, it will be more specific. For example, if there is a head tag, then there is an attribute. There will be some attributes that is more specific. You will learn more about that. I don't want to confuse you, but attribute will add more semantic representation to a tag. Okay, so how the heading needs to be specified, adding more specific information to a tag is called attribute. Okay, so that is about HTML. And then XML. XML is kind of extensible markup language. It's a non-traditional content, like if you want to specify mathematical equation, or even like if a browser is going to use different display devices like mobile phones and tablet, then HTML, the basic HTML is not competitive to handle those non-traditional content on non-traditional devices. So in that case, they developed a new language called extensible markup languages, which has the extended power of HTML that can handle scientific notation and different devices. Okay, so that is XML. After that, after the XML, the next version was called XHTML, that is extensible hypertext markup language. Okay, so this is the combination. So by combining the rules and the best thing about HTML and combining the best thing about XML, so the combination of these two help to develop this new language called XHTML. Okay, so the formatting strength of HTML and the extensibility, that is scientific notation and device and those kind of the features are the strength of XML. So these two strengths added together to form XHTML. So that is the next version. After that, right now we are using HTML5. That is the good features, the best features about HTML and XHTML is added together to form HTML5. Okay, so right now we are going to, in this course, right now the current version of HTML is HTML5. Okay, so we are going to learn HTML5. Okay, so all the tags and attributes related to the updated version, that is in HTML5, that's what you are going to learn in this course. Okay, so before getting into the actual HTML5, let's look at the history, so that if you understand the history, if you look back at the history, then it will be helpful for you to understand where actually it is heading to, right? To understand there will be another version release, so you will understand where it is, where the track is going. So in 1991, as we know, Tim Berners-Lee published the first version, that is HTML. That is HTML 2.0, and then in 1995 the updated version HTML 3.2 was released, and in 1997 HTML 4.0 was released. Around 2000 XHTML was released, and then the current version is HTML5, which we are going to learn in this course. Okay, great. So what are the good features? What are the advantages? So this is the current advanced version of HTML that we are going to learn. And what are the best thing about this comparing with its previous version? So the first thing is it can adapt to any new elements. They can add any new elements to that. So it is kind of it's competitive like it can support all the new elements, all the media elements like audio and video tags or that to support the media content. And it can be like, what to say, it can work with the older browsers and also the modern browsers. Okay, so that kind of competencies are there in HTML5. Okay, so another feature is offline application cache. Like you can even it can even load the page the user has visited even in the offline. Like even the user is in offline, it can even do a cache memory. It has the cache memory that it can display. Okay, so that browser crashes, even it can display that. Okay, so those kind of facilities are added in HTML5, the current version. Okay, so what is the software that we are going to use? What are the things that we need to access it to write our code in HTML? Okay, so how we are going to write our code? So to work with the markup languages, all you need is simple text editor. Okay, so kind of any all the browser, all the OS has its inbuilt text editors like Notepad, and if it is Mac, you will have text edit, right? So that is more than enough. So if you have text editors, then you can write your code. But you can even use external software editors like Notepad++, all those stuff. TextPad is there for Mac. But to make it easier for all of you, whether you're having a Windows OS or Mac OS, we are going to use Autumn IDE. Okay, so we are going to use that as a text editor for this course. So before starting, so from next chapter onwards, we are going to write our code. Okay, so all of you have to download Autumn IDE in your system. Okay, so that is the editor that we are going to use in this course. Document type, DTD. What is this? Document type definition. So I told you that there were different versions of markup languages that was developed, and a browser can understand different type of markup languages. But before speaking to a browser, for example, before speaking to a person, you have to specify what you have to know, what the particular language that we are going to speak, or we are going to communicate. So that basic information, like in the real world, we will understand, okay, what is this language, whether I know this language or not. Okay, so that's where we communicate, right? The same thing, when we communicate to the browser know all type of markup languages. The browser can understand. It's a software which can understand all type of markup languages, but you have to specify what language you are going to use, what version you are going to use. Okay, so that is defined by document type definition. So document type definition is the first thing that you are going to write in your code. Okay, so you have to start your conversation with the browser, the language that is, it should be started with this document type definition. So when the browser sees the first code, it is looking for the DTD, and it will try to understand. So when you specify this as your DTD, then browser will know, okay, so this code is written in HTML5. So it will then translate everything according to the standards specified in HTML5. Okay, so like that, each and every markup languages has its own DTD. Okay, so you have to start your coding by specifying this DTD. So that means you are specifying what version of markup language you are going to use. Okay, so in this course we are going to use HTML5. So that means we are starting with this code, doc type with all case and HTML. So this is the DTD for HTML5. Okay, so next we are going to speak about how actually the web page looks like. So sections, the two main sections are there to specify web page: head section and body section. Okay, so head section will specify the details, information about that particular web page, and body section refers to the actual content which is going to get displayed in the web page. Okay, so there are two different sections for any web page: head section and body section. Head section has the information about that web page, and body section has the actual content that is going to get displayed in the web page. Both this head section and body sections should be wrapped up with the HTML tag. Okay, so we'll speak about the tags in detail, but let's look at the content elements first. Okay, so I told you there are two sections, head section and body sections. Let's look at the components of the head sections. The head element contains the description about a web page content. It starts with the head tag. So these are the tags that you're going to refer. Okay, so this, when you see this, that specifies this is the head section of a web page. Okay, and then the title. So the title is the title bar, like a title of the particular web page is wrapped up with the title tag. Okay, and then meta tag describes the character encoding. Okay, so that is there in the meta tag. And then the body section contains the content of the actual website. So that is the body tag. Okay, so it may be confusing to you. I'll repeat it. So this is the actual structure of a web page. Okay, so what you see here, this is the DTD. Okay, so this is the DTD, and this one is the actual coding. Okay, so actual HTML tag. Okay, so when the browser see this, it will understand that you are going to use HTML5. Okay, and then when it sees that this is the actual coding start, this is where the actual coding starts. Okay, all your content, if you write something after this, the browser cannot read it, the browser cannot understand. So your actual coding should be wrapped up with this HTML tag. Okay, and then I told you there are two sections, right? There are two sections in the coding. So that is head section and body section. So the head section specify the description. So what is that particular web page is about? All those descriptions are there in the head section, and the body section contains the actual content. Actual content will be there in the body sections. And the head section, so you can see all these are known as tags. This symbol is called tag. So this is HTML tag that specifies that we are using the HTML language. And this is called head tag. So the head tag specifies when the browser sees this head tag, then it will understand that it is a head section. When the browser sees this body tag, this is the opening tag and this is the closing tag. Similarly, this is the opening tag and this is the closing tag for the HTML. Okay, so most of the tags will have the opening and closing tags. So the browser, when it sees this tag, it will know that the body section starts here and the body section ends here. Okay, similarly it will know that the head section starts here and the head section ends here. So this is opening tag and this is closing tag. Opening head tag, closing head tag, opening body tag and closing body tag. And this is the title. So that title is kind of what to say. Have you seen in the web browser? Hello, I'll show it. Do you see? So I'm in my Canvas page where you can see my media. This is the title of this page. And let's see. I'll open up my personal website page where you can see this is the title. Okay, Ho Meenalochini Vimal Cruz. So this is the title for my web page, for my index web page. So this is the title. This information is title. Okay, so what you want to display in that particular part, that will go here. That is the page title, that should go here. And this one is called character encoding. Okay, so character encoding. So you can notice that. So character encoding is kind of like how that's a translation from binary language to a language a browser can understand. That is called character encoding. So what kind of character encoding that we are going to use, that will be specified here. Okay, this tag is called meta tag. You can notice that all the tags has the closing tag except this meta tag. Meta tag doesn't have any closing tag. Okay, so different character encodings are there. What kind of character encoding that we are going to use should be specified here. We'll speak about the character encoding separately later, but just understand these are called tags. Okay, so that is responsible for each purpose. It has a semantic representation. So to make it easier for you, I have some analogy. So let's say this whole web page is like a burger. Okay, so that the burger, the essential component is everything is wrapped up with the bread, right? So the HTML, this one wraps up everything. So this one wraps up everything. HTML. So like how the bread wraps up the burger, like that the HTML tags will wrap up all the content, okay, that we are going to write. So this is like a bread, wraps up everything. And this information which is specified in the head section is like a topping. And the information which is specified in the body section is like a main content. You will not specify a burger by referring its toppings. You will specify the burger by its main content, like a chicken burger or veg burger, like that. Similarly, this topping will just describe the web page. What is the title of the page? What kind of character encoding that we are going to use? All those informations will be specified in the head section, but that doesn't have the actual content. Similar, the actual content is there in the body section. Okay. So to explain this analogy, I'll say, let's say you have your HTML code here. Okay, so this is starting code and this is ending code. Okay, so this is like your top bread and bottom bread. Okay, so that's wraps up everything. And then you have your head section here. The head section specify what is the title, everything. So this is the topping, like lettuce, onion, everything. Okay, so it actually describes the web page. Okay, what is title, what is character encoding, and then here actual body tag. Okay, so this is the actual, whether it is veg or chicken, burger, what is the actual patties. So that is actual content of web page. Okay, so this is the simple analogy that you can use to understand. Okay, so without HTML, this tag, the browser cannot interpret, cannot translate. So I have specified that something about character encoding in the previous slide. So what is character encoding? So character encoding is kind of like, computer can understand only binary language. The language of computer is binary language, like how the language of browser is markup language, like that the language of computer is binary language. So whatever you feed into your computer, that should be fed as a binary code. Okay, for example, when you type an letter A in your keyboard, it will convert, it will look for the table. Okay, so the A value of decimal letter of A is 65. So the 65 will be converted into binary code. Okay, so the corresponding binary code of 65 will be fed into the computer. Then it will understand, okay, so you have typed A. Okay, so that is how the computer can understand everything. Okay, so this character encoding, different set of rules are there. So for example, if you can say ASCII, ANSI, Unicode, all different types of character encoding method. For example, what you see here in this table is ASCII table. So it has its own versions of character encoding that specify for each letter, alphabetical letter, there will be some binary decimal value which will be converted to binary. So the ASCII one has 7 bits. 7 bits is 2 power 7, 127. So 127 characters, so it can represent 127 character, which is given here. Okay, so it cannot specify anything more than that. You can see that it doesn't have anything to specify the scientific notation, right? So the ANSI one can represent 2 power 8 bits. So 2 power 8 is 256 coding points. So rather than 127, ANSI has 256 coding points. So that can represent more number of characters. Okay, but the modern browser can use the Unicode representations. Unicode representation has different, more number of bits, more number of characters. It can support more number of characters. For example, the lowest version of UTF has UTF-8. It can represent 1 byte of information, and UTF-16 can represent 2 byte of information, and UTF-32 represent 4 byte of information. If a character encoding can support 1 byte of information, that means that the browser can understand, it can translate almost all the languages, like all the languages has separate number of characters, right? Number of letters, right? So it can support every language in the world. For example, English has 26. So like that, it will be converted, all the A, B, C, D, all those informations will be converted to binary code like that. For example, my language, my native language is Tamil. So it has 256 characters. So if we use UTF encoding, then all those 256 characters will be represented by some specific coding points. Okay. So this is called character encoding. So what kind of character encoding that we are going to use in our coding, that should be specified here. Okay, so in the meta tag, you'll specify what kind of character encoding we are going to use. Mostly we'll be using UTF-8. Okay, so we are going to use English language and we are going to use UTF-8 for that. Okay, so that is about character encoding. And then that's it. So this is let's write our first HTML language. The next section I'm going to explain how to write our HTML first web page. Okay, so by whatever I have explained in this section, by following all of those, we are going to write our own page. You're going to write your first page. Okay, so before that, we are wrapping up this particular chapter, so I just want you to give additional references. So if you want to know more about like the additional information what we have discussed in this chapter, you can just refer this additional web pages. And also if you want to refer the video tutorials, here and there I have specified some references for video references, so you can, I have just listed all those video references here. You can use this to have more understanding on the topics what we have discussed. Okay, so to wrap it up, in this particular chapter, in 5 different sections, we have discussed about evolution of internet, network basics, internet protocols, and how does internet work, and the markup languages. Okay, so in the next section I'm going to explain how to write your first web page, how to code your first web page. Okay, see you in the next section.